أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم من همسه ونفخه ونفخه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين، سيدنا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. رب زدني علما، سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله، إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى. يا معلم آدم علمنا، ويا مفهم سليمان فهمنا. يا معلم آدم علمنا، ويا مفهم سليمان فهمنا. يا معلم آدم علمنا، ويا مفهم سليمان فهمنا. وعلمك ما لم تكن تعلم، وكان فضل الله عليك عظيما. اللهم إنا نسألك أن تفتح علينا فتوح العارفين بحكمتك، وتنشر علينا وقايتك العظمى ونعمتك الكبرى ورحمتك الواسعة، وتعلمنا ما جهلنا، وتذكرنا ما درسنا أو درسنا، وتذكرنا ما نسينا أو نسينا، وتنفعنا بما علمتنا، وتبارك لنا في علمنا، إنك على كل شيء قدير وبالإجابة جدير. نعم المولى ونعم النصير، بكرامة من أرسلته رحمة للعالمين، محمد ابن عبد الله وآله وصحبه أجمعين، آمين. وبعد، الإخوان وأخواتي الكريمة والطلاب الأعزاء، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. نمتم المساء، أتمنى أن كل منكم على ما يرام من الصحة والستر والعافية بإذن الله. Now, in continuation with our discussions حول الدراسات النفسية في التصوف، استخدام الكتاب بداية الهداية للإمام الغزالي، كنا نتكلم عن آداب ما بعد طلوع الشمس إلى الزوال، وقلنا أن الأعمال هناك تنقسم إلى أربع حالات، وتكلمنا عن القسم الأول، يعني الحالة الأولى، ووقت انتهت بنا إلى الحالة الثانية، فلم نستطيع أن نستمر. فإن شاء الله وبحوله من نستمر ونواصل الحديث اليوم من الحالة الثانية من الأحوال الأربعة، وهذا من الصفحة 11 و100، في الصفحة 11 بعد 100 إن شاء الله، الفقرة الأخيرة على صفحة 11 بعد 100 إن شاء الله. وبحوله Can you hear me? Is my voice clear?
Yes.
Okay, because I just received a message to be removed to mute myself or something. You'll be asked to unmute yourself. Do you want to unmute? Let me decide. Please let me know if the voice is echoing. I think it is echoing. Okay. Too much echoing. Yeah, now it's the I believe it is to be better. Please, if at any time I get muted or I get out of voice, please inform me immediately so that I don't speak to myself alone. Okay. We are going to continue from the second condition. We said in the last week class, during the not the last week class actually, because there was no class last week. It was Saturday. We said. So the week before, about Adabu ma ba'da tulu'i shamsi ila zawal. So what we are supposed to do, the activities that we are required to do after the sunrise until some time before Zohor. Okay, so we said that there are, according to Imam Al-Ghazali's Hidayah al-Hidayah, there are about 4 conditions that we can follow. So the first is the الحالة الأولى, which is أن تصرف الوقت إلى طلب العلم النافع في الدين. Okay, to spend the time in seeking for knowledge that is beneficial. Now, الحالة الثانية أن لا تقدر على تحصيل العلم النافع ولكن تشتغل بوظائف العبادات من الذكر والقراءة والتسبيحات والصلوات، فذلك من درجات العابدين وسير الصالحين، وتكون بذلك أيضا من الفائزين. So that is to say, if you are unable, if you are not in the first category of people who spend their time in studying, in seeking for beneficial knowledge, so then you can belong to the second category. Okay? أن لا تقدر على تحصيل العلم النافع. So you are not able to acquire knowledge that are beneficial, or you, for example, you graduated already. Let's say you have graduated already, so you are no more a student. There is no time for that. Okay, so now the second stage and category and condition is تشتغل بوظائف العبادات من الذكر والقراءات. So you concentrate on the act of the activity of other ibadat, other acts of worshiping, such as al-dhikr, making al-dhikr. So there are many forms of al-dhikr. You have al-haylala, you have al-hamdala, you have al-salsala, and you have al-istighfar. So all these are forms of al-dhikr, al-adhikar. Okay, al-istighfar by seeking astaghfirullah al-azim. So that is the shortest. Astaghfirullah al-azim, astaghfirullah al-azim constantly. Okay, you can also extend to astaghfirullah al-azim alladhi la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayh. Astaghfirullah al-azim alladhi la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayh. You can do that, and if you can do more, you can go to the Subuhun Kudusun Rabbul Malaikati wa Ruh. Okay, Subuhun Kudusun Rabbul Malaikati wa Ruh. So these are 4 segments. You can also yumkinuka al-mudawamatu ala dhalika. This is also a form of dhikr and also a form of tasbih. Okay, Subuhun Kudusun Rabbul Malaikati wa Ruh. So the glory be to you, hallowed be to you, the Lord of the angels and all the spirits. Okay, Subuhun Kudusun Rabbul Malaikati wa Ruh. So that is short. Then if you want to continue a bit longer, then you say Subuhun Kudusun Rabbul Malaikati wa Ruh Astaghfirullah al-Azima alladhi la ilaha illa huwa الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه وأسأله توبة والمغفرة لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. So you can say that continuously, and you can say any other forms of al-adhkar, such as al-haylala. Al-haylala is dhikr la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. You can do that. Otherwise, the al-kalimat al-musharrafa is also, you can also accompany yourself with that. That is Allahu, 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 Allahu. Some people, they combine the 3 forms of this Allahu together. You have Allahu al-Marfu, you have Allah al-Mansub, and you have Allahi al-Majrur. So they combine the 3 together by Allahu, Allah, Allahi, Allahu, Allah, Allahi, Allahu. So there are many forms, but the best form is to maintain the Allahu, 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 Allah. So that is Al-Haylala. That is Al-Haylala. Now, okay, so those are the Haylala. Okay, there are many forms according to other Turku Sotiya. All right, now, apart from the Haylala, you also have Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, that is Alhamdulillah, 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 Alhamdulillah. So it's part of it. Okay, you also have the type, another type on the zikr is a salsala. A salsala is to make a salat ala nabiyyina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد. You can make it longer. وعلى آله وصحبه وعلى آله وصحبه, and so on and so forth. So these are forms of a dhikr that you can make. Okay, apart from the dhikr, you can also engage in the wazwati fil qira'ah al-ibadah, such as al-qira'ah. Qira'ah of the Quran, recitation of the Quran. Okay, you may you may accustom yourself, train yourself to kind of finish a juicy every day. Finish a juicy every day. If you want to finish it all in the morning, or you want to finish it all in the evening or in the night, it's okay. Or if you want to divide the juicy into five, maybe after each salawat, when you read two pages, particularly if you use Mushaf al-Madina. So you have approximately about 10 pages each in each juz'i, except the first one and the last one. So they are more than 10, but for the other ones, they are 10 pages. So maybe if you choose to read two pages every salawat, so you can be able to complete one juz'i a day. So 1 month, Bismillah, you'll be able to khatam one Quran. Okay, so that is according, you can choose according to, it doesn't have to be, if you don't have a power to finish one juz'i a day, you can also read something in the Quran. One page is okay, one ayah is okay to contemplate on and see what is the meaning. So apart from the recitation of the Quran, there are also tasbihat. Okay, Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah al-Azim. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah al-Azim. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah al-Azim. There was salawat. You may also engage in the salat ala nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, apart from all this, you may also use al-baqiyat as-salihat, al-baqiyat as-salihat, the remnants of the righteous people. So it is very simple, you know it. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. So 5 segments. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. So you can also use this and do it. So فَذَلِكَ مِنْ دَرَجَاتِ الْعَابِدِينَ. So this will elevate you to the status of the worshippers of Allah, wasiyari as-solihin, and it will also make you, and so this is the habit of the righteous people. So, and it will also make you to be in the company of the righteous one. وَتَكُونُ بِذَلِكَ أَيْضًا مِنَ الْفَائِزِينَ. So if you follow this also, you will be one of those who are going to be successful. You'll be successful in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in addition to that, so that is the second hala. Now, al-halatu thalitha, أن تشتغل بما توصل به خيرا إلى المسلمين. Now, you cannot do the first, you cannot belong to the first category. You can also not, because of your time of working, your engagement, assignment. So you also cannot join the category, the second category of the zikr and tasbih and that. Then there is another category which is أن تشتغل بما توصل به خيرا إلى المسلمين وتدخل منه سرورا على قلوب المؤمنين أو تيسر به الأعمال الصالحة للصالحين كخدمة الفقهاء والصوفية المحققين وأهل الدين والتردد في أشغالهم والسعي في إطعام الفقراء والمساكين والتردد على المرضى بالعيادة وعلى الجنائز بالتشييع فكل ذلك أفضل من النوافل فإن هذه عبادات وفيها رفق بالمسلمين. So number 3 is to concentrate yourself on doing things that will benefit Muslims, okay, like community services, community service, community contribution, surah, who taking care of the surah, taking care of masjid, or putting the money there, giving the masjid money, and paying school fees of some needy people, needy students, and these are kind of other things. So meaning, amal sodako, as sodakot, okay, making people happy, okay. أن تشتغل بما توصل به خيرا إلى المسلمين, to concentrate on what you can do to cause happiness into the Muslims. وتدخل منه سرورا على قلوب المؤمنين. So you do something to put smile, to put happiness into the heart of the believers, of mu'min. أو تيسر به الأعمال الصالحة للصالحين, or to do something that will simplify the activities of the righteous people by cleaning the mosque, the place where they sit in the Sawiya, in the halakha, and so on and so forth. Okay, buying prayer rugs in the masjid, contributing to van janaza, and so on and so forth. كخدمة الفقهاء والصوفية المحققين. Okay, you can also engage in khidmat al-fuqaha, making khidma, serving khidma, that is service. Okay, serving khidma to the jurists, and Sufiya, Ahl al-Tariqa al-Muhaqqiqina, the truthful ones. For Ahl al-Dini, you may also help people religiously in religious tour, masjid tour, in tourism, and so on and so forth. وَالتَّرَدُّدِ فِي أَشْغَالِهِمْ, and assisting people in their work, in their daily activities. وَالسَّعْيِ فِي إِطْعَامِ الْفُقَرَاءِ وَالْمَسَاكِينِ. You may also contribute to feeding the poor and the needy ones. وَالتَّرَدُّدِ عَلَى الْمَرْضَى بِالْعِيَادَةِ. One of those activities is also to visit the sick ones in the hospitals, okay, or wherever they are, the sick family, sick friends, neighbors, fellows. وعلى الجنائز بالتشييع, and when you see people or you hear some people taking the corpse to the maqbara, to the cemetery, so you join them and with the intention of doing it lillahi wa rasulihi. So فَكُلُّ ذَلِكَ أَفْضَلُ مِنَ النَّوَافِلِ. All this are better than you sitting down and saying you are doing nawafil, you are doing salawatu and nawafil, supererogatory prayer. فَإِنَّ هَذِهِ عِبَادَاتٌ وَفِيهَا رِفْقٌ بِالْمُسْلِمِينَ. So all the mentions, all that we have mentioned, they are all forms of ibadat, of worshiping and serving Allah, and they are also at the same time rifqun bil muslimina, making life easy, alleviating the suffering of the Muslims. So that is the third condition, the first category. The last category, أن لا تقوى على ذلك واشتغلت بحاجتك اكتسابا على نفسك وعلى عيالك. وقد سلم المسلمون منك وأمنوا من لسانك ويدك وسلم لك دينك إذ لم ترتكب معصية فتنال بذلك درجات أصحاب اليمين إن لم تكن من أهل الترقي إلى مقامات إن لم تكن من الذين يترقون من أهل السابقين. وهذه أقل الدرجات في مقامات الدين، وما بعدها فهي من مراتع الشياطين، وذلك بأن تشتغل والعياذ بالله بما يهدم دينك أو تؤذي به عبدا من عباد الله تعالى، فهذه رتبة الهالكين، فإياك أن تكون في هذه الطبقة. Okay. الحالة الأخيرة والرابعة, the fourth and the last category of the amal that you can engage in every day after Tulu and Shamsi إلى زوال الشمس is أن لا تقوى على ذلك. So you cannot do the first one, you cannot do the second one, and you also cannot do the third one. Okay, so now the fourth one is, okay, أن تشتغل بحاجتك, okay, to concentrate on your needs, on satisfying your needs. اكتسابا على نفسك وعلى عيالك, working to satisfy yourself, the need of yourself and the need of your family. That is also that is the fourth one, but it is the least category. It is the lowest category of all. Okay, so like you don't become a burden to the Muslim society, you don't become a burden to the community, so at least you are able to serve your own needs and your close family needs. So that you don't become beggar around people, you don't disturb people every day for this and that. Okay, so وَاشْتَغَلْتَ بِحَاجَتِكَ, it is for you to concentrate on your needs privately. اكتسابا على نفسك, concentrating and working on satisfying yourself need, وعلى عيالك, and the need of your family. وقد سلم الناس منك, so and by so doing you make sure that people's rights are not jeopardized. You people, Muslims are free from you. وَأَمِنُوا مِنْ لِسَانِكَ وَيَدِكَ, you don't hurt them with your mouth, and you don't hurt them with your hand. وَسَلِمَ لَكَ دِينُكَ, and your religion is peaceful. You go to Surah, you join with people in Salat, you salam on the way to the Surah, you maintain good cordiality with the neighbors. إِذْ لَمْ تَرْتَكِبْ مَعْصِيَةً, and also if you do not engage in any ma'asiyah, in any sinful acts. فَتَنَالَ بِذَلِكَ دَرَجَاتِ أَصْحَابِ الْيَمِينِ, so by so doing you may also achieve the level and reward of as-salihina. Okay, ashab al-yamin are the people that are in the right hands of Allah. In lam takum min ahli taraki ila maqamati, so if you cannot be able to, if you cannot join the level of those who elevate ila maqamati al, if you cannot join if you do not have the ability to join those who work to get elevated to darajat aw maqamat as-sabiqin, to the place and the category of the fosters, those who the first generation. وهذه أقل درجات في مقامات الدين. So this last one is the least category of all the four categories. وما بعدها, so anything apart from these four that we have mentioned, فهي من مرات الشياطين. So they are just devilish, they are just deceptions of shaitan. They are deceptions of shayateen. وذلك بأن تستجل, for example, والعياذ بالله, you seek refuge from Allah with Allah, to أن تستجل بما يهدم دينك. So, for example, someone who is busy or concentrating on wasting his time on things that will destroy his religion, okay, or to be abda min ibadillahi ta'ala, or doing something that will hurt the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, we just to add to this, when you are in position of power or if you are in position of authority, So you have to always have the intention of making things easy for those who come to your office, for those who come across you every day, for those who come to pass through your office or through your table, through their file. You have to have the good intention of alleviating their suffering. So people outside your office, they do not know what you are going through in your office. They don't know the tedious stuff that you have on the table. So you don't have to shout on them when they don't kind of listen to the instruction of them. So people are like that. So you have to be lenient, and you don't be so too strict on the rules and regulation. No, some rules are meant to be bent. If you are in position of power and authority, always look for a way to bend the rule possibly and positively for the benefit of people, of the customer, of the students, of of those who come to your in need of your service. Okay, even if it is going to cost you a bit difficult, a bit time, a bit more time. So you do that, hoping for the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have some people in the office where when they bring files onto their table, instead of working quickly on that file and pass it to another person, they just keep the file under the desk. Then they continue playing game on the computer in the office. This is not a good aspect. This is not a good characteristics of a good moment. So particularly when you are a civil worker, that they pay you to do the work, to sit down in the office, they are paid for your time that you spend in the office. So your responsibility is to do your work diligently with the intention of alleviating the suffering of those that come through your table or through your office or through you in the day. So I'm saying this because sometimes some people who do not even have time to do any decree, who do not even have time to recite Quran every day, who do not even have time to make any nafila any day, they might receive the word that is greater than people who sit down in the masjid throughout the day because of the good intention and helping people who come their way in the office. And sometimes some people come to the office thinking they come with worries. They come worried and they are afraid. Oh, I don't know whether this process is going to finish today. I don't know. Then you just okay, calm down. Okay, please, can you sit down? Okay, what do you want? What is it? What is the issue? You calmly listen. You calmly listen to their worries. Calmly listen to their requests. Then you do as much as you could within the stipulation of the laws and of your office. Yeah, you see that oh, this can be bent, this can be done. No problem, sir. No problem, sister. We can do it. Okay, just sit down. Let me talk to my boss. Let me talk to my secretary. Let me talk to. So you handle it. Then at the end of the day, oh, alhamdulillah, sir, we are able to finish it. And thank you. I'm sorry for delaying you. So that person is going to go home happy. And when he sleeps, before he sleeps in the night, he might remember and say, oh, Allah, bless this sister that assisted me during the day. Oh, Allah, bless this brother that assisted my process during the day. Oh, Allah, bless this one, bless this one, bless this person who contributed to making me happy the day. So that reward will be greater than that of anyone who sits down in the mosque without without assisting people or making influence on people. Okay, so how to is the abdomen ibadillah ta'ala. So any the working on harming or disturbing any of the servants of Allah. فَهَذِهِ رُتْبَةُ الْخَالِقِينَ. So this is a category of those who are destroyed, okay, who wants destruction. فإياك أن تكون في هذه الطبقة. Be careful. Do not do anything that will make you to belong to this kind of category, the level of people. واعلم أن العبد في حق دينه على 3 درجات. And also we want you to understand that everyone is servant of Allah. All servants of Allah are divided into 3 categories with regard to their religious activities. Okay, with regards to their religious duties. So people are divided into 3 categories. They are of 3 categories. Okay, but it is better to belong to the Salim. Okay, rather than Khasir. Okay, so you can be Salim, you can be Rabi, but do not be Khasir. Okay, Salim is someone who is peacemaker. Okay, peacemaker macam someone who just wants to do what he wants to do on his own. He doesn't want to involve anybody in his life. Just want to go to surah, come back, tanas bagi salam, tana apa. So he doesn't want any engagement with people. Just want to keep to himself. Okay. Rabihun is someone who is successful, a successful one. A successful one comprises of the first category also. It comprises of the first category. After the first category, he does the whole thing in the first category, and he has some other things. So he becomes Rabih. Okay, so but Khasir is the one who does not do anything at all. He's not it's not in the category of Salimin, it's not in the category of Rabihin. Okay, so Imma Salimun, Abdullah, a servant of Allah, could be either a Salim, who is a Salim, وهو المقتصر على أداء الفرائض وترك المعاصي. So he is the one who concentrates just on doing what is obligatory. Okay, he only wants to pray 2 rakas of subhi. Any other nafila he doesn't pray. He also wants to go to pray zuhur when it is adhan. He waits until he calculates it is a comma already. He just enters the masjid when it is of a comma and prays 4 rakas with the imam and gets out before anyone gets out. Asr 4, Maghrib 3, Isha 4, just Macham 2. He doesn't pray any other nawafil or any other thing. Okay? Watar Kelemaasi, he also try as much as he could to avoid all the sinful acts. So he is a Salim because at least he is able to do the obligations. Okay, so that is the first category, the first type. The second type, which is actually comprising the first category. Okay, because it's a person after establishing the fara'id and also avoiding al-ma'asi. In addition to that, وَهُوَ الْمُتَطَوِّعُ بِالْقُرْبَاتِ وَالنَّوَافِلِ. He also does some supererogatory actions. Okay, he did some voluntary things. Okay, by praying nawafil, by praying salawat sunnah, rawatib, okay, bil qurbat, okay, and he pays he gives people sadaqat, he alleviates people's suffering on nawafil, and he also prays some nawafil. So he is a word. It's not a dosa. So this is this one we call him Salim because at least he keeps himself safe. Okay, is save. Then this one is someone who is profitable, okay, a gainer, okay. So his activities includes the first category, and also in addition to that, he do some voluntary activities. Now, the third one that we are not encouraged to be is the category of the loser. Okay, so this is the winner. Okay, this is the second is the winner. The winner category comprises of the silent. For someone to be a robber, he must have been a silent first. Okay, so that is to say, so the robber is greater actually in category than that of the silent. So then the third one is khasir, the loser. Okay, وهو المقصر عن اللوازم. Someone who feels weak, who is too lazy to establish the fara'id, the obligations. He wants to go and pray. He only arrive at the masjid when it is the last rakah, last tahiyya. Okay, it is azan, he doesn't stand up. It is a common, he doesn't stand up. So much I'm true. So during Ramadan, so he just fast reluctantly. Okay, so Chantu, he doesn't want to, no recitation of Quran, no Sadaqat, no Qiyamul Layl, no Tarawih, no Apapa, like he just fasting reluctantly. Okay, so فَإِنْ لَمْ تَقْدِرْ أَنْ تَكُونَ رَابِحًا. Okay, so this is, if you cannot be a winner, second category, the best, فَاجْتَهِدْ أَنْ تَكُونَ سَالِمًا. Try to be a saver. Okay, try to be safe. Try to keep yourself safe. وَإِيَّاكَ ثُمَّ إِيَّاكَ أَنْ تَكُونَ خَاسِرًا. But be very, very careful, never ever to be a loser. وَالْعَبْدُ فِي حَقِّ سَائِرِ الْعِبَادِ لَهُ ثَلَاثُ دَرَجَاتٍ also. Okay, so this is with relation to religious. Okay, man with regard to his religious obligation has three statuses or three categories: either to become a saver, or to become a gainer, or to become a loser. Okay, the best, however, is to become a gainer, a winner. Okay, so if you cannot, then you can be saver, keep safe, but don't be a loser. So that is with regard to religious duties. Now, with regard to people's rights, okay, other people's rights. وَالْعَبْدُ فِي حَقِّ سَائِرِ الْعِبَادِ لَهُ ثَلَاثُ دَرَجَاتٍ. Okay, with regard to people's rights, so there are also three categories, three levels. Number one, أن ينزل في حقهم منزلة الكرام البررة من الملائكة وهو أن يسعى في أغراضهم رفقا بهم وإدخالا للسرور على قلوبهم. We explained this already when we were talking about the last category of the amal after the four that we just mentioned just now. Okay, number one is أن ينزل في حقهم منزلة الكرام البررة. To put himself, okay, أن ينزل منزلة الكرام البررة من الملائكة. To put himself in the position of the glorious angels, okay, the glorious angel who do things without expecting any reward from man. Okay, so put himself into the position, into the status of the Kiram al-Barara of the Malaika, the types of Malaika, who come just to assist without necessarily knowing you, or they don't want anything in return from you. So they just want to help and do it and go. Okay, so number one, be like the angels who do things for people for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, فهو أن يسعى في أغراضهم رفقا بهم. So this is to solve the problem of people by being very lenient and gentle with them. Being lenient with them, being gentle on them, وَإِدْخَالًا لِلسُّرُورِ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ, and making them happy, putting happiness in their heart, putting smiles in their face. Okay? Serving people without expecting any reward. Number two, أن ينزل منزلة البهائم والجمادات في حقهم فلا ينالهم خيره ولكن يكف عنهم شره. Okay, number two, it is not recommended, but it should also be okay, but it's not recommended. Okay, to أن ينزل منزلة البهائم والجمادات, to put himself in the position of ordinary animals and ordinary non-living things, non-living organisms. Okay, so you know animals, they just go on their way, they don't disturb you. The cats, the birds, they go on their business, they don't disturb anyone. While the jamadat, the trees, the rock, the stones, the batu, all those things, they are just there. They don't disturb you, they don't come to you. Okay, so فَلَا يَنَالُهُمْ خَيْرُهُ, so he does not show them his goodness, he doesn't share anything good with them, but at the same time, يَكُفُّ عَنْهُمْ شَرَّهُ, so he doesn't also harm them. Okay, harm people. So he's not good to people, and it's not also bad. Okay, it's not helpful to people, not helping to people, not helpful to people, and also at the same time, it's not a burden on them. Okay, لا ينالهم خيره ولكن يكف عنهم شره. So he doesn't have anything good to share with people. He doesn't share anything good with people, and at the same time, he doesn't harm them. Okay, he keeps his trouble from people. Okay, so that is the level of the relationship of the animalistic and not an object relationship with people. So just living like animals that just are selfish on their own. Okay, stay on their own, they don't bother anyone, and they don't burden anyone. Okay, number three, أن ينزل في حقهم منزلة العقارب والحيات والسباع الداريات لا يرجى خيره ويتقى شره. The third category is the worst. To be like manzilat al-aqarib. Al-aqarib, scorpions. Okay, to act with them, to relate with them like scorpion. Scorpion, Scorpions. Scorpions. Al-Hayat, snakes. Snakes is Ula. Okay, Wal-Hayat, snakes. Okay, so to be like scorpions and snake was Siba'i and wolves at Doriyat. Okay, wild animals. Okay, wild animals. Wild animals. Okay, so you know scorpions, even if you don't look for the trouble of scorpions, scorpion comes to look for your trouble. The snakes, al-hayat, you don't look for the trouble of the snakes, although, but they come to look for your trouble. The wild animals, you don't look for their trouble, but the moment they see you, they look for your trouble, they want to devour you. And so, the third category is the category of a person who relates with other people just like a scorpion and snakes and wild animals. La yurja khairuhu, people do not gain any benefit from him. Wa yuttaqa sharruhu, and they are also always afraid of his harm, of his trouble. Anytime he could start his trouble with them. So this is the worst category. Okay. The best category of the three, however, is the first one. First one. Okay. An yanzila manzilat al-kiram al-bararat fi haqqihim. Okay, to act with them, to relate with them like the glorious angels. Okay, so the second one, it's no problem, but it is also not encouraged. Okay, it's no problem, but it is also not encouraged. All right, so but if you cannot be like Malaika, okay, don't be like the scorpions and the snakes and the wild animals. Okay, so you can, okay, stay on the second category. Okay, just like you relate like animals and the ordinary animals. I mean the domestic animals and the non-living objects. فإن لم تقدر على أن تلتحق بأفق الملائكة فأذر أن تنزل عن درجات البهائم والجمادات إلى مراتب العقارب والحيات. So, if you cannot accomplish the level of Malaika, of the angels, so be careful, don't go below the level of the domestic animals and the non-living organisms. Don't go below that. At least, if you cannot be like the angels, then be like the Bahahim and Jamadat. So don't try to be, okay, don't go to the level of the scorpions and the snakes. Okay, فإن رضيت بنفسك النزول من أعلى عليين فلا ترضى لها بالهوي إلى أسفل السافلين فلعلك أن تنجو كفافا لا لك ولا عليك. Okay, so if you فإن رضيت لنفسك النزول من أعلى عليين, so if you prefer not to belong to the highest order, ala in that is darajat al-malaika. So if you agree for yourself that you want to nuzula min ala in you want to get below the highest categories of the creation, okay, then فَلَا تَرْضَى لَهَا بِالْهَوِيِّ إِلَى أَسْفَلِ السَّافِلِينَ. So don't accept for yourself to condescend, to fall below to the level of the lowest of the people of the category. فَلَعَلَّكَ أَنْ تَنْجُو كَفَافًا لَا لَكَ وَلَا عَلَيْكَ. So if you stay in the middle, the level of the Baha'im and the Jamadat, perhaps you may be saved based on your intention of La laka wa la alayka. You don't have any goods and you don't have any sin also. Okay? فَعَلَيْكَ فِي بَيَادِ نَهَارِكَ أَلَّا تَشْتَغِلَ إِلَّا بِمَا يَنْفَعُكَ فِي مَعَادِكَ. Okay, so be careful not to spend your day. Okay, naharika huna isti'aratun makaniyatun li shababika. Shababika. Be careful not to spend your bright days, that is, ayamu shabab. Be careful not to spend your youthful days, okay? Allah tashtagila illa bima yanfa'uka fi ma'adika. You don't spend it in anything except in what will benefit you in your old age, in your future, wa ma'ashika, and in your life. الذي لا تستغني عن الاستعانة به على معادك. فإن عجزت عن القيام بحق دينك مع مخالطة الناس وكنت لا تسلم فالعزلة أولى بك فعليك بها ففيها السلامة. So, if you study all this that we have mentioned, and you are seeing that your relationship with people is not okay, you are not okay with people, you are not fine with people, you don't like people, you don't like anyone, you like being alone, you like being isolated, you don't want to contribute, make any community contribution, no societal contribution. Okay, فإن أجزت عن القيام بحق دينك, if you are unable to establish your religious duty, okay, by mingling with people, وَكُنْتَ لَا تَسْلَمُ, and you think that mingling with people, being with people is not safe for you. So at that point, فَالْعُزْلَةُ أَوْلَى بِكَ, isolating yourself is better for you. فَعَلَيْكَ بِهَا, so then there is no other option. You have to keep to yourself, فَفِيهَا السَّلَامَ, because that will be better for you. فإن كانت الوساوس في العزلة تجاذبك إلى ما لا يرضي الله تعالى ولم تقدر على قمعها بوظائف، okay, بوظائف العبادات فعليك بالنوم. You can see now, Imam Al-Ghazali is giving the low category. It is better for you to be able to relate with people so that you get promoted to the level of the ala and the yin. But if you cannot do that, if you feel unsafe with people, then isolate yourself. Go in seclusion. Okay? Now again, when you are in seclusion, what you are supposed to be doing is to engage in umurul ibadah, ma yurdi Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, things that pleases Allah. Okay, so you work on yourself, on nafsul al-amara bisu. So, but when you are in the uzla, okay, كانت الوساوس تجاذبك. So still, the evil mind, the evil disturbances are still pulling you ila ma la yurdi Allah ta'ala, towards things that will not please Allah. For a good example, you don't like associating with people, you don't like meeting with people, you don't like discussing with people, you don't like doing things in jama'ah with people. Okay, your things in isolation, if that will be better for you. But again, in your isolation, instead of you concentrating on what will be pleasant to Allah, you are on the phone watching things that are not expected of you, watching porns, watching blues, watching things that are not expected of you. So this, if it comes to this level, that when you are alone, this is what you are doing. وَلَمْ تَقْدِرْ عَلَىٰ قَمْعِهَا بِوَظَائِفِ الْعِبَادَاتِ, and you do not have the ability, you don't have the power to break your ego, to break your shaitan, to break that evil act. To them, فَالنَّوْمُ أَوْلَىٰ لَكَ, then it is better for you to sleep. Okay, فَعَلَيْكَ بِالنَّوْمِ, so it is better for you to just sleep. Okay, so فَهَذَا أَحْسَنُ أَحْوَالِكَ وَأَحْوَالِنَا, so this will be better for you, because the normal will be better for you than being alone and doing what does not please Allah. Okay, so this is the low. The lowest is sleeping. Just sleep and continue sleeping like love. Okay, so because when you are sleeping, the idea is when you are sleeping, you just become like jamadat that has no life. Continue sleeping, hibernate yourself. Okay, so just be like the jamadat that have no benefit for anyone and they don't harm anyone. So that is the lowest. Then the higher from that is isolation, doing what pleases Allah. The higher than that is to get out of isolation, do what you want to do, relate with people as much as you could. Help with people, make people happy, assist people, alleviate their suffering, be lenient on them, be gentle and kind. Okay, فهذا أحسن أحوالك وأحوالنا إذا عجزنا عن الغنيمة. Okay, so this is the best. Okay, this is the best of the situations for you and for us. This is the best solution that we see for you. إذا عجزنا عن الغنيمة فردينا بالسلامة في الهزيمة. Okay, if we are unable to gain, okay, to fight for ghanima. For ghanima is the reward, the booties that we get when we go to war with the enemies. So what we get there is what we call al-ghanima. So that is the booties, the goodies of the war. So if we are unable to get the goodies of the war, and then we do not want to be conquered. We don't want to be conquered. Then we surrender for safety, okay, for our safety from conquering. So وَأَقْسِسْ بِهَالِ مَنْ سَلَامَةُ دِينِهِ فِي تَعْطِيلِ حَيَاتِهِ. Okay, وَأَقْسِسْ, it is so disgusting. Okay, the situation is so disgusting, that is, it is so disappointing. Okay, بِهَالِ مَنْ سَلَامَةُ دِينِهِ فِي تَعْطِيلِ حَيَاتِهِ, to see that someone thinks that the best form of his religion is ta'tili hayatihi, putting an end to his own life. What does that mean? Because a norm that we mention here, okay, the norm that we mention here is just like termination of your own life activity. Because when you are asleep, you don't realize anything. You don't know anything that goes on around you. So it's like the termination of your own life, your own activity. So when you terminate your own life, okay, so that means you have put the safety of your religion into just like killing yourself. Okay, even normal ahulimoti, because sleeping is a lesser death. A brother, okay, is similar to death. وهو تعطيل للحياة والتحاق بالجمادات. So it is just like تعطيل للحياة, the termination of life, والتحاق بالجمادات, and joining the categories of non-living things. فَعْلَمْ ذَلِكَ تُوَفَّقْ إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى. So remember all this so that you will be guided Bismillah ta'ala. Now, the next discussion is about adabul istidad bisair salawat. The lessons, the discussions, the habits of getting ready for all salawat. Okay. Now, first thing that the first assurance to assure you that you're going to be timely on all your salawat is to always remain on the status of al-wudu. At least when you are on the status of al-wudu, at least you know that the moment it is as then, you are not just going to go to toilet again and start preparing for purification. You are already. So you just go to the mosque. So that is ينبغي أن تستعد قبل الزوال لصلاة الظهر فتقدم القيلولة إن كان لك قيام بالليل أو سهر في الخير فإن فيها مؤونة على قيام الليل كما أن في السهور مؤونة على صيام النهار والقيلولة من غير قيام بالليل كالسهور من غير صوم بالنهار. أويه ينبغي أن تستعد قبل الزوال لصلاة الظهر. So it is recommended that you get yourself prepared for Salat al-Zuhri qabla al-Zawali, before it is time, before time. فَتُقَدِّمَ الْقَيْلُولَةَ إِنْ كَانَ لَكَ قِيَامٌ بِاللَّيْلِ. So you can observe Qaylula. Qaylula is siesta. Siesta, the sleeping, the relaxation that we take in between 1 and 2, or in between 12:30 and 1:30, let's say. Okay, some countries do not observe that, but Saudi Arabia usually observe that. Okay, and in Malaysia, although they don't call it Qaylula, we have Waqtu Reha. So this Waqtu Reha is equivalent to Al-Qaylula. Al-Qaylula, it means the relaxation of the brain. Okay, so before the time for Salah, so that it will be settled for concentration on Salah. They call it siesta. Siesta. I don't know why they call it siesta, but that is what the English call it. Okay? But there is a condition. For someone who performed Qiyamul Layl, it is better for him to observe Qaylula. But for someone who did not observe Qiyamul Layl, so Qaylula is not necessary for him. because throughout the night you slept for 6, 7, 8 hours as usual, normal. So you don't need that Qailula much during the day. That time that you're going to Qailula, use it for azkar, tasbihat, salawat, and so on. Okay? فَتُقَدِّمَ الْقَيْلُولَ إِنْ كَانَ لَكَ قِيَامٌ بِاللَّيْلِ. So it is preferable that you observe Qailula, siesta, if you observed the vigil of the night, the keeping vigil of the night, the standing of the night. أو سهر في الخير, or if you سهر في الخير, that is keeping vigil on doing goods. Okay, فإن فيها مؤونة على قيام الليل. So because when you observe Qailula, okay, so it helps you to observe Qiyamul Layl, next Qiyamul Layl, because your mind is settled and balanced. It is not overworked. But when you do not have Qailula throughout the day, and again you want to observe Qiyamul Layl, it is going to be too burdensome on the brain. You cannot withstand it. It won't help. If you start with it, you cannot continue for long. Okay, so فَإِنَّ فِيهَا مَؤُونَةً عَلَى قِيَامِ اللَّيْلِ. So observing Qailula supports you to be able to observe Qiyam al-Layl. كما أن في السهور مؤونة على صيام النهار. To the same way that taking sahur, eating pre-dawn meal, okay, pre-fajr meal as sahur, okay, the pre-fajr meal, the meal that we eat before fajr, okay. So if you eat that with the intention that you want to fast during the day, so that is called a sahur. Suhoor. But if you eat that food, but you don't have intention of fasting, just you want to eat. So akalta faqat at-ta'ama. You only ate ta'am, you ate food. Okay. So kama anna fi suhoor, so the al-qailula, okay, ma'unatan ala qiyam al-layl. Okay. The same way that qailula gives you ability and strength to observe Qiyamul Layl, in the same way, suhoor, taking suhoor, will give you strength to withstand Siyam al-Nahar, to fast during the day. وَالْقَيْلُولَةُ مِنْ غَيْرِ قِيَامٍ بِاللَّيْلِ كَالسُّهُورِ مِنْ غَيْرِ صَوْمٍ بِالنَّهَارِ. So anyone who observes Qailula, siesta, without observing the night vigil, is just like someone who takes sahur without fasting during the day. It's a waste. Okay, فَاجْتَهِدْ أَنْ تَسْتَيْقِظَ قَبْلَ الزَّوَالِ. Okay, so if you observe Qailula, try to wake up before it is time for Azan of Zuhur. وَتَتَوَضَّأَ, make wudu, perform your wudu. وَتَحْضُرَ الْمَسْجِدَ, go to the masjid. وَتُصَلِّيَ التَّحِيَّةَ, observe tahiyyat al-masjid. وَتَنْتَظِرَ الْمُؤَذِّنَ وَتُجِيبَهُ, wait for the Azan. Wait for the muazzin, the caller, to prayer, and when the caller is calling, tujibahu, then you attend to him, you repeat what he is repeating, as we mentioned earlier. ثم تقوم فتصلي 4 ركعات عقب الزوال. So after the Azan, and you are finished with Allahumma hadhihi ad-da'watu at-tamma والصلاة القائمة آت نبينا محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة العالية الرفيعة. So and so on and so forth. After that, تقوم, stand up, تصلي 4 ركعات, pray for rakas akiba al-zawal, okay, to mark the arrival of Salat al-Zuhur. وكان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يطولهن. The Messenger of Allah used to make these 4 rakas longer. ويقول هذا وقت تفتح فيه أبواب السماء فأحب أن يرفع لي فيه عمل صالح. So he used to say that I make my nafila, my raka'at third longer at this time because هذا وقت تفتح فيه أبواب السماء. So this is the time during which the doors of the heavens are opened. فأحب أن يرفع لي. So I hope and I love that my deeds will be raised, will be approved. Okay. Amalun Soleh. At that time, I want what would be recorded for me to be Amalun Soleh, to be a good deed. Nabil, where is Nabil? What's that time? Okay. Ahmad Naufal is here. Naufal, up to you. Let people inside. Okay. فأحب أن يرفع لي فيه عمل صالح. So I love that what would be taken to the presence of Allah from me would be amalun salih, would be good deeds. So وهذه الأربع قبل الظهر سنة مؤكدة. So these 4 rakats before Zuhur, we call it pre-Zuhur Nawafil. Okay, and Nawafil Qabla Zuhur. Okay, pre-Zuhur Nawafil, the supererogatory prayers before Zuhur. So these 4 is Sunnatun Mu'akkadatun. They are authentic Sunnah. So they are highly encouraged authentic Sunnah. ففي الخبر أن من صلاهن وأحسن ركوعهن وسجودهن صلى معه 70,000 ملك يستغفرون له إلى الليل. So it is reported that anyone who observes those 4 rakahs وأحسن ركوعهن وسجودهن and performs the ruku' and the sujood in those 4 rakahs perfectly, صلى معه 70,000 ملك. So 70 angels would be created to pray with him, and then they will be asking for forgiveness of Allah for him throughout the day until it is night. Now, after observing that 4, ثم صلي الفرض مع الإمام, then you observe the obligatory 4 rakahs of Zuhur with the Imam. ثم صلي بعد الفرض ركعتين فهما من الرواتب الثابتة. So then after the Zuhur, you pray rak'atain. Okay, pray rak'atain. So this rak'atain, they are obligatory, thabita, that are recorded from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So ولا تشتغل إلى العصر إلا بتعلم علم أو إعانة مسلم أو قراءة قرآن أو سعي في معاش تستعين به على دينك. Okay, so don't do anything until Asr, except, okay, that is in between Zuhur and Asr. So you divide your time, you look at your situation. if you are at work, if you are at home, if you are busy, if you are less busy, then you divide your time according to, as we said before. Okay, number one, bita'allumi ilmin, by engaging in studying, or i'anati muslimin. You cannot do that, assisting a brother, a sister, a Muslim, a fellow, a neighbor. If you cannot do that, qira'ati Qur'anin, recitation of Quran. You cannot do that, sa'yin fi ma'ashin, do something that will make your life better, that will make you and your family okay. Tasta'inu bihi ala dinika, and that will support you on your religious activity. So after that, when it is time for adhan, asr, thumma salli arba'an qabla al-asri, then you pray 4 rakas before asr. Fahiya sunnatun mu'akkadatun, it is also highly encouraged, established sunnah. فقد قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم رحم الله عبدا صلى أربعا قبل العصر. So it is reported that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, may Allah bless that servant who prays 4 rakas before Asr. Okay, rahimallahu abdan salla arba'an qabla al-asr. Fajtahid an yanalaka du'a'uhu sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So try to make sure that you are entitled to the prayers of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So when you observe that 4, so you are entitled to that prayer. Okay, ولا تشتغل بعد العصر إلا بمثل ما سبق قبله. So after Asr, so don't be engaged, don't be busy with anything except as we have explained before. ولا ينبغي أن تكون أوقاتك مهملة. So it is not encouraged that you make your time wasted. That is, do not waste your time. فتشتغل في كل وقت بما اتفق كيف اتفق، بل ينبغي أن تحاسب نفسك وترتب وظائفك في ليلك ونهارك، وتعين لكل وقت شغلا لا يتعداه ولا تؤثر فيه سواه. Okay, so it is not encouraged that you waste your time. فتشتغل في كل وقت بما اتفق كيف اتفق. By doing just anything at any time, anything that you see at any time that comes, no, don't do that. فلينبغي أن تحاسب نفسك. You have to regulate your time. You have to regulate yourself. You have to plan. You have to plan yourself. وترتب وظائفك وظائفك في ليلك ونهارك. Then you have to arrange. You have to demarcate. You have to arrange your wazahib, your azkar, your dua, the ones that you are going to do in the night, the ones that you are going to do during the day. You have to know them so that you know a particular time is for a particular prayer. A particular time is for a particular azkar. Okay, so that is actually the duties of the Sufis, of the Ahlul Turuqa, okay, that we call Ahlul Tariqa. So that is how they divide their time. So they have lawazim, they have rawatib, they have wadhahib, so they have so they have sabahiyya, they have nahariya, they have asriya, so they have maghribi, and they have layliya. So they have divided their works and their wadhahib, their azkar according to that time. Okay, so turatibu wadhahibaka, Wazahifu here, that is awradaka. So you regulate your awrad, your dua, your azkar, okay, divide them into the ones that you're going to do in the night and the ones that you're going to do during the day. وَتُعَيِّنُ لِكُلِّ وَقْتٍ شُغْلًا. So you demarcate, you choose for each time a particular duty. لَا يَتَعَدَّاهُ, that you are not going to miss it. وَلَا تُصِرُ فِيهِ سِوَاهُ, and you are not going to choose any other thing to replace it. فَبِهِ تَزْهَرُ بَرَكَاتُ الْأَوْقَاتِ. So that is how you get the blessing of the times. Okay, so that is فَأَمَّا مَنْ تَرَكَ نَفْسَهُ مُهْمَلًا سُدًا إِهْمَالَ الْبَهَائِمِ لَا يَدْرِي بِمَا يَسْتَقْبِلُ كُلَّ وَقْتٍ فَتَنْقَضِي أَكْثَرُ أَوْقَاتِهِ ضَائِعَةً. But anyone مَنْ تَرَكَ نَفْسَهُ مُهْمَلًا سُدًا, anyone who leaves himself just like that, simply, and living ihmal al-bahahim, and living just like all other animals, just like animals, la yadri bima yastakbilu kulla waqtin, he doesn't know what each time brings, what is related with each time, what to do with a particular time. Fatanqadi aktharu awqatihi da'i'atan. So such a person will continue to spend his time, waste his time for nothing. Most of his time will be wasted. Now, let's be realistic to ourselves. Check yourself. I'm checking myself also. How many times do you actually spend on WhatsApp every day? How many times do you actually spend on Telegram every day? How many times do you actually spend on Facebook every day? How many times do you actually spend on TikTok every day? How many times do you actually spend on Instagram every day? How many times do you actually spend on every day? If you calculate all those time, then you honestly compare those time that you spend on those things with the time that you actually touch the Quran. How many times? What is the comparison? Which one is greater? The time you spend with Quran or the time you spend with apps? I'm trying to think of that also. So you check yourself and adjust. I'm checking myself, and I pray Allah gives me adjustment. Some people, when they wake up early in the morning, without even saying Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'da mautina, before even remembering to say that, the first thing they touch is their phone to check message. The first salutation is touching the phone and see what message they have. Subhanallah, waking up early in the morning. And the last thing some people do, I think most of us are guilty of this. The last thing we touch in the night before we sleep is our phone. And you know, some people have it under their pillow, like myself. So when you have ping, 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 cranker, you wake up, what is it? What is the message? What is it? And most of the time, it is nonsense message. Message on the group, message that are not even beneficial. If you off the phone, you won't know anything, and the night will just go. So you try and adjust to that. Social media is good, but don't allow it to take much of the time from you. It is another ashirkul asgar. It is becoming like ashirkul asgar to us now. When it is adhan, we don't repeat with the azan of the muazzin. Rather, we concentrate on the replying, typing, on this and that, and before we know it, azan is over. The Iqamah has come, we were still busy typing, and the Iqamah was over. We're going to say, oh, I'm going to join. Then, before you finish reply 2, 3, 4 messages, 4 rakats are gone. You miss the whole Jama'ah. Are we making sense? Okay, so anyone who ترك نفسه مهملا سدى إهمال البهائم لا يدري بما يستقبل كل وقت فتنقضي أكثر أوقاته ضائعة is just going to waste majority of his time. Most of his time is just going to be wasted. Okay, so now imagine that you are not in the class. Imagine that you are not in the class. What are you going to be doing? Okay, you are not in the class. You are not in the library. You know, imagine some people also going to the library to go only for you to find them busy on the phone, pressing WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, and this and that in the library, where we are supposed to be reading. And it's not that we are reading on the phone. It's not that we are studying on the phone, like group studying, online groups, but no, just like Macham, they are suggest. We just want to hang with phone. I don't know what is becoming. We like to change our phone every six months. I don't know why. Going with the Vogue, with the new phones that we always want to be on the par with others that use a new phone. What is happening with us anyway? I don't think that is necessary. Okay, so it is important to know that time is everything. And whatever we do with time, we will give account of it. We'll be accountable for it. We'll be held accountable for it. So we are advised to spend our time wisely, فيما يرضي الله سبحانه وتعالى, because time is life. Whether we like it or we don't like it, time is life. Time is life. So وأوقاتك عمرك وعمرك رأس مالك وعليه تجارتك وبه وصولك إلى نعيم الأبد في جوار الله تعالى فكل نفس من أنفاسك جوهر لا قيمة له إذ لا بدل له فإذا فات فلا عودة له. I'm not sure whether we understand this. I give 1 minute for everyone to read this. Read it by yourself. Okay, I give 1 minute. Try to read this by yourself for 1 minute. Now, have you finished reading? Okay. I'm going to read again. أوقاتك عمرك وعمرك رأس مالك وعلى رأس مالك تجارتك وبتجارتك وصولك إلى نعيم الأبد والنعيم الأبدي في جوار الله تعالى فكل نفس كل نفس من أنفاسك جوهر لا قيمة له. لا قيمة له يعني ليست هناك، يعني لا يشتريه مال. أوكي. كل نفس من أنفاسك جوهر لا يمكن أن تبيعه أو تشتريه بمال. أوكي. إذ لا بدل له. فإذا فات نفس من أنفاسك فلا عودة له. Do we understand this? It means أوقاتك عمرك. Your life depends on your time. Okay? عمرك أوقاتك. أوقاتك عمرك. Your life is your time, and your time is your life. وعمرك رأس مالك. Now, let's go to business. If you want to make business, you need capital. Yeah, you cannot start a business without capital, without something. So, your profits depends on the amount of capital that you use to start with the business. You cannot compare someone who started the same business as you, started with 1 million ringgit, for example. You cannot compare the reward, the profit that he is going to get with your reward that you start with 10,000 ringgit. Someone started a business with and invested 1 million ringgit on it, and another person invested 10,000 ringgit on it. Of course, in the course of 6 months, the profit that each of them are going to get is going to be according to the capital that they invested into the business. Another example, you want to buy a share on Facebook, and by the way, maybe you are not thinking of it. Those of us who use Facebook, we are wasting our time, number one. We are wasting our credit and data, number two. We are wasting our money, number three. We are wasting our life, number four. But we can actually use that same time and still invest in Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, Telegram. We can actually invest in them. There are ways that people invest in those apps. Am I making sense here? You can actually invest, buy share in Facebook, you can buy share in TikTok, you can buy share in WhatsApp, you can buy share on Telegram, you can buy share on Instagram, you can buy share on all these platforms. Even with 50 ringgit, even with 10 ringgit, even with, so at least you have an investment there. So whatever you spend on your data, you know you get it back somewhere. Try, find out how to get a share on Facebook. Try. I have not searched for that, but it is possible, right? People do it. So instead of just wasting time and spending our money and time and life, let's get something in return for our money and time. Okay, now back to the business. Someone who invested, who buys shares of 500 ringgit on Facebook, for example, and another one who buys a share of 10 ringgit, for example. So the capital is different. So when they are going to share at the end of 6 months or anytime that they're going to share, of course, the profit, the share of the one who contributed 500 ringgit is going to be greater than that of the person who contributed 10 ringgit. So that is how it goes for our life, the time that we spend and waste. Someone who spends 3 hours in serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala compared to someone who just wait and get, comes late to the masjid, goes out earlier from the masjid. You cannot compare their profits to be the same. Are we here? Are we sure we are here? So your time is your life. Your life is your capital money. Okay? In business. And this business is the business of life. The business with Allah. So your life is like the capital that you have to start your business, because that is what you are spending actually every day. وَعَلَى رَأْسِ مَالِكَ تِجَارَتُكَ. And your business, your economy, depends on the amount of capital that you invest. That is, tijaratuka, your trading with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala depends on the capital time that you invest on Allah's activity. وَبِهِ وُصُولُكَ إِلَى دَارِ نَعِيمِ الْأَبَدِيَّةِ. And bihi bitijaratuka, through your trading with Allah, your trading with Allah will determine wusuluka ila na'imil abadi. Okay, your arrival, how you are going to arrive at the everlasting bliss in front of Allah. And where is that everlasting bliss? Fi jiwarillahi ta'ala. If it is good, you go with jiwarillah. If it is otherwise, wal iyazu billah, Allahu a'lam. فَكُلُّ نَفَسٍ مِّنْ أَنْفَاسِكَ جَوْهَرٌ. Each breathing in and out, inhalation, exhalation. So inhalation is breathing in, exhalation is breathing out. Okay, each inhalation and exhalation, let's say, each breathing, kullu nafasin min anfasika, each breathing that you breathe, each second that you spend, jawharun, it is like a diamond. It's like a diamond, la qimata lahu, that cannot be valued. Okay, each second, each breathing that you breathe, each second that you spend is like it's an invaluable diamond, an invaluable treasure. It's a treasure that is invaluable. When we say invaluable, that is, you cannot substantiate it. There's no amount of money that you can use to buy it. Because it is irreplaceable. La badala lahu, irreplaceable. It is irreplaceable. You cannot replace it. It is not renewable. It is not. You cannot replace it with anything. Once it is gone, it is gone. فَإِذَا فَاتَ فَلَا عَوْدَةَ لَهُ. When it is wasted, then it can never return anymore. It can never be restored. Are we here? فلا تكن كالحمقى الذين يفرحون في كل يوم بزيادة أموالهم مع نقصان أعمارهم. So do not be like the fools, al-humqa, fools, al-fools, the stupid ones. لا تكن كالحمقى. Do not be, we should not be like the fools, okay, like the stupid ones. الذين يفرحون في كل يوم بزيادة أموالهم. Those who are happy بزيادة أموالهم في كل يوم, when their money, their material money increases every day. When they check their account, when they check their they show their investment, they see when they check their Bitcoin, they get happy, they smile, mashallah, the market is good today. But they do not realize that their life is reducing. The amount of life, the amount of years that they have to spend is reducing every second. So لا تكن كالحمقى فأي خير في مال يزيد وعمر ينقص. Of what good is a wealth that increases and a life that decreases? That is, what good is there in a money, in a wealth, in a material substance that increases while the life is reducing and decreasing? فَلَا تَفْرَحْ إِلَّا بِزِيَادَةِ عِلْمٍ أَوْ عَمَلٍ. So your priority, let your priority and your happiness be بِزِيَادَةِ عِلْمٍ, with your increase in knowledge, increment of knowledge, and increment in what? In good deeds. فَإِنَّهُمَا رَفِيقَاكَ يَصْحَبَانِكَ فِي الْقَبْرِ. So these are two accomplices, these are two friends, these are two associates, يَصْحَبَانِكَ فِي الْقَبْرِ, that would accompany you in your grave. حَيْثُ يَتَخَلَّفُ عَنْكَ أَهْلُكَ وَمَالُكَ وَوَلَدُكَ وَأَصْدِقَاؤُكَ. When your family, your wealth, your children, your friends would desert you. It's only this that will be with you. Ilmin wa amani, that will be with you everywhere. ثم إذا اصفرت الشمس فاجتهد أن تعود إلى المسجد قبل الغروب وتشتغل بالتسبيح والاستغفار فإن فضل هذا الوقت كفضل ما قبل طلوع الشمس. So ثم إذا اصفرت الشمس, then when the sun becomes yellowish, when the sun turns yellow, that is after Asr, getting closer to Maghrib, that is قبل الغروب. فاجتهد أن تعود إلى المسجد قبل الغروب. Try to get to the masjid before the sunset. وتشتغل بالتسبيح والاستغفار. So then you concentrate on making tasbih, making istighfar. فإن فضل هذا الوقت كفضل ما قبل طلوع الشمس. The importance of this time before Maghrib is just like the importance of the time before the sunrise in the morning. قال الله عز وجل, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ قَبْلَ طُلُوعِ الشَّمْسِ وَقَبْلَ غُرُوبِهَا. That is the interpretation of the statement of Allah that says, سَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ قَبْلَ طُلُوعِ الشَّمْسِ. Glorify the praise of your Lord before the sun rises and before the sun sets. وَقْرَأ قَبْلَ غُرُوبِ الشَّمْسِ وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى وَالْمُعَوِّذَتَيْنِ. So before the sun sets, read Surah Al-Shams, والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها كذبت ثمود بطغواها إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها. Recite it and recite والليل إذا يغشاها and so on and so forth, and you recite mu'awwidhatain, قل أعوذ برب الفلق, قل أعوذ برب الناس. Okay, وَلْتَغْرُبْ عَلَيْكَ الشَّمْسُ وَأَنْتَ فِي الْإِسْتِغْفَارِ. Make sure you are in the status of seeking istighfar while the sun sets. Okay, let the sun set while you are still making istighfar. فَإِذَا سَمِعْتَ الْأَذَانَ فَأَجِبْ. So when you hear the muazzin reciting the adhan, then you reply the adhan. وَقُلْ بَعْدَهُ, after the adhan you pray, اللهم إني أسألك عند إقبال ليلك وإدبار نهارك وهدور صلاتك وأصوات دعاتك أن تؤتي محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة العالية الرفيعة. Okay, and so on and so forth. And you can end with any other dua, as we said before the subhi, okay, in the previous week's class. Okay, so now when it is after the azan, you say Allahumma, oh Allah, inni as'aluka, I ask you, I pray to you, in the ikbali laylika, okay, during this time that the night is approaching. I ask you, during this time that the day is departing. I ask you, during this time when when it is time for Salat. I ask you at this time when it is time for Du'atika, for your azam, for people calling upon you. I ask you Antutiya Muhammadan al-Wasila. I ask you to grant Muhammad the concession والفضيلة والدرجة العالية الرفيعة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته وارزقنا اللهم شفاعته يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبنبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم رسولا ونبيا. ربي اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء, so on and so forth. Okay, you recite that what dua kama sabaka and the previous dua that we mentioned during the Salatul Subhi. ثم صل الفرض بعد جواب الإقامة. أشهد أن لا الله أشهد أن لا أشهد أن محمد أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. الله أكبر. لا Okay, so وصلي بعد ذلك ثم صلي الفرض بعد جواب الإقامة. After responding to the Iqama, so that is after Adhan, it is going to be Iqama. And then when it is Iqama also, you have to respond. And after the Jawab al-Iqama, وَصَلِّ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ قَبْلَ أَن تَتَكَلَّمَ رَكَعَتَيْنِ. Okay, فَإِنَّهُمَا رَاتِبَةُ الْمَغْرِبِ. And after Salat al-Maghrib, before talking to anyone, صَلِّ رَكَعَتَيْنِ, to pray 2 rakas, فَإِنَّهُمَا رَاتِبَةُ الْمَغْرِبِ. So they are additional accompanying to Salat al-Maghrib. وإن صليت بعدهما أربعا تطيلها فهي أيضا سنة. But if you also pray 4 rakas, 4 long rakas after it, it's also okay. فهي أيضا سنة. That is after the praying the rakatain, This is which is Rotibatin. Okay. After praying the Rakatain, so if you still have time, if you wish, you can also pray 4, an additional 4. Okay, 4 long rakas. It is also sunnah. وَإِنْ أَمْكَنَكَ أَنْ تَنْوِيَ الْإِنْتِكَافَ إِلَى إِشَاءٍ. So if it is possible for you, if you still want to stay in the masjid, so you may intend, you may have the intention of al-i'tikaf until Isha. وَتُهْيِيَ مَا بَيْنَ الْإِشَاءَيْنِ بِالصَّلَاةِ. So that you will be able to enliven, so that you'll be able to activate the time in between the 2 Ishas, al-Isha'ain to the Maghrib and Isha. So you'll be able to connect between them with Salat. فَقَدْ وَرَدَ فِي فَضْلِ ذَلِكَ مَا لَا يُوصَى. There are a lot of narrations that are narrated in the virtues and the goodness in doing that. So there are many benefits in doing it. وَهِيَ نَاشِئَةُ اللَّيْلِ لِأَنَّهُ أَوَّلُ نَشْئِهِ. So because it is the beginning of the beginning of the night. So we call it Miftahul Layl, the openings of the night, because it is Awwalu Nashi'ihi. It is the beginning of the development of the night. Wahiya Salatul Awwabin. So that is the salat of the righteous people. وسئل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عن قول الله تعالى. So they asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam about the ayah of the Quran that says, "Tatajafa junubuhum anil madaji'i." Their junub, their size, their body distances from their mattresses, from their sleeping, from their mats. Okay, Faqala, he says the meaning of that is as-salatu bayna al-isha'in innaha latadhhabu bimulaghati an-nahari wa tuhadhibu akhirahu. Okay, he says that is salatu ma bayna al-isha'in. So it is referring to the salatu nawafil in between Maghrib and Isha. Innaha latadhhabu bimulaghati an-nahar. So it pushes away the tiredness and the tiresome, the troubles of the world of the days. What you have akhirahu, and it prepares the end of the day. Wal mulagat jam'u mulagati wa huwa min al-lagwi. So lagwi is this is the battery stuff. I think it's okay. I'm going to. What do you do?
ألم نشرح لك صدرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب.
Okay. Then it says al-mulaghat. It is jamu al-malghatin. It is the plural form of nonsense speeches. Okay, the tiresome. Wahuwa min al-lagwi. Al-lagwi, that is just a playful talks that are senseless. فإذا دخل وقت العشاء فصل 4 ركعات قبل الفرض إحياء لما بين الأذانين ففضل ذلك كثير. So when it is time for Isha, فَصَلِّ أَرْبَعَ رَكَعَاتٍ. Pray 4 rakats قبل الفرد before the fardi of Isha. إحياء لما بين الأذانين, to enliven, to connect between the two azans. What is the two azans? The azan and the iqama. So in between the azan and the iqama. فَفَضْلُ ذَلِكَ كَثِيرٌ. There are many benefits in doing that. وَفِي الْخَبَرِ, according to the Prophet ﷺ, he says, إِنَّ الدُّعَاءَ بَيْنَ الْأَذَانِ وَالْإِقَامَةِ لَا يُرَدُّ. So the supplications that we make in between Adhan and Iqamah will be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So after the fardu, ثم صل الفرض, so you observe the fardu of Isha. After the Isha, صل الراتبة ركعتين, to pray 2 rakats after them. وَقْرَأْ فِيهِمَا بسورة ألف لام سجدة وتبارك الملك أو سورة ياسين والدخان، وذلك مأثور عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So the 2 rakats, you choose whether you want to read Alif Lam Mim As-Sajda and Tabaraka alladhi biyadihi al-mulku wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Okay, Alif Lam Mim Sajda in the first rakah and Tabaraka in the second rakah. So that is one option. Another option is Surah Yasin in the first rakah and Surah Dukhan in the second rakah. Okay, whichever. But if you do not memorize these 2 surahs, it's just okay to use Surah Al-A'la, Sabbih Isma Rabbika Al-A'la, Alladhi Khalaqa Fasawwa. You can also read Hal Ataka Hadithul Ghashiya, Wujuhun Yawma Ibn Khashi'a, Amilatun Nasiba, and so on and so forth. So if you don't memorize this long surah, you can read any other short surah. Alam Nashrah Laka Sadrak, وَوَضَعْنَا أَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ is also there. وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى is also there. Al-Qari'atu Mal-Qari'atu is also there. وَالتِّينِ وَالزَّيْتُونِ وَطُورِ سِينِينَ is also there. وَالْعَادِيَاتُ ضَبْحًا فَالْمُورِيَاتُ قَدْحًا is also there. Al-Hakum Al-Takathur, you can also use that. At-Tathuru Tumul Maqadan. You can also use Surah Al-Asr. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ. So you can also use وَيْلٌ لِكُلِّ هُمَزَةٍ لُمَزَةٍ. So that is Surah Al-Humazat. It is also there. Surah Al-Fil is also there. أَلَمْ تَرَ كَيْفَ فَعَلَ رَبُّكَ بِأَصْحَابِ الْفِيلِ. You can also use لِإِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ. You can also use قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. You can also use إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ, that is Surah Al-Nasr. تَبَّتْ يَدَا is also there. Kul huwa Allah Ikhlas is also there. Mu'awizatain is also there. A'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq, A'udhu bi Rabbin Nas. You can use any of the words, any of the mentioned surah. You can also use Aman al-Rasul. So Akhir Surah Al-Baqarah. Ayatul Nur, Allahu Nuru Samawat wal Ardi is also there. And also Ayatul Inzal, Law Anzalna Hadha al-Quran ala Jabal is also there. So you can read any portion in the Quran you can read. Okay. فَذَلِكَ مَأْثُورٌ عَنْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. All these are reported from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَصَلِّ بَعْدَهُمَا أَرْبَعَ رَكَعَاتٍ. So after them, you then pray another 4 rakats. فَفِي الْخَبَرِ مَا يَدُلُّ عَلَى عَظَمِ فَضْلِهِ. So we have in narrations what shows the great importance and values in doing that. Then after that, صَلِّ الْوِتْرَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ. Then you pray Salatul Witr. You have 2 or 3 ways to pray Salatul Witr. Number 1 is Qat'un li Jami'in. Number 2 is Waslu li Jami'in. Number 3 is Waslul Awalaini wa Qat'ul Akhira. Okay, so you can pray them separately. 1 rakat. So you can bring 3 taslim, it is approved. So number 2 is waslul jameen. You can pray all of the 3 rakas together with 1 taslima. Number 3 is you can pray the first 2, then you call it shafa'i, then you sit down and you make a tahiyya, then you make a taslima, then the last one you call it al-witri, then you bring another taslima. Another number 4 is you pray the first 2 rakas, you sit down for tahiyya, but you don't bring salama. Then you stand up for the last one, then after the last one, you just bring salama. But that number 4 is not recommended, because it looks like Salatul Maghrib. Okay, so those are the ways through which you can recite, you can do Salatul Witri. And Salatul Witri, the first 2 rakas, the first one, you recite Surah Al-Fatiha and Sabbih Isma Rabbika Al-A'la, Alladhi Khalaqa Fasawwa. The second rakah, you read Surah Al-Fatiha and Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafiruna. The last rakah, you read Surah Al-Fatiha and the Qul Huwati. Qul Huwallahu Ahad, then Qul A'udhu Birabbil Falaq, and Surah Al-Nas, Qul A'udhu Birabbil Nas. So these are the ways to pray Surah Witri. But if you don't memorize Surah Al-Sabbih Isma Rabbika, no problem. If you don't memorize Surah Al-Kafir, no problem. Any other chapter or ayah of the Quran is okay. And in fact, you can use Qul Huwallah for the first rakah, for the second rakah, Qul A'udhu Birabbil Falaq, for the last rakah, Qul A'udhu Birabbin Nas. It is also approved. Okay? So ثم صلي الوتر بعد ذلك ثلاثا بتسليمتين أو بتسليمة واحدة. Okay, then you pray witri after that. Okay, 3 rakas with 2 taslima or 1 taslima. وكان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقرأ فيهن بسبح اسم ربك الأعلى. The messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم used to recite Surah Al-A'la in the first rakah, Surah Al-Kafirun in the second rakah, and Surah Al-Ikhlas wal-Mu'awwizatain in the last rakah. فَإِن كُنْتَ عَازِمًا عَلَى قِيَامِ اللَّيْلِ. If you intend to observe vigil, the night vigil, the Qiyam al-Layl, فَأَخِّرِ الْوِتْرَ لِيَكُونَ آخِرَ صَلَاتِكَ بِاللَّيْلِ. So you can delay the last rakah of witri to the end of your Qiyam al-Layl, so that witr will be the last salat that you pray. So, but if you didn't do that also, you may pray your witri. Then when you finish your Qiyam al-Layl, you may observe another witri. So it's okay. And if you forget, ta'afafun. ثم اشتغل بعد ذلك بمذاكرة علم أو مطالعة كتاب. So after the witri, then you take a book to recite, you take a book to revise. You can revise your book, any of your lessons. You can read any book that is beneficial. Okay, okay. وَلَا تَشْتَغِلْ بِاللَّهْوِ وَاللَّعِبِ. Don't play, don't concentrate on mobile, don't concentrate on Facebook, don't concentrate on watching TV, movie, blues, phones. Don't do that. فَيَكُونَ ذَلِكَ خَاتِمَةَ أَعْمَالِكَ. So that will not be the end of your daily works. قَبْلَ نَوْمِكَ, before sleeping. فَإِنَّ الْأَعْمَالُ بِخَوَاتِمِهَا. Because the actions are judged according to their endings. وَنَسْأَلُ اللَّهَ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى حُسْنَ الْخَاتِمَةِ. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to end our deeds well and perfectly. So this is where we are going to stop today, inshallah. So we are going to meet in the next week class. Tapi, before we go, I want to remind you and myself of our test number 1. So inshallah, it is going to be on Thursday. Okay, it's going to be on Thursday, and I think it's going to be Thursday. What time is it going to be? Let's check quickly. What time is it going to be on Thursday? Mm. The network has problem with me. It's problem. Anyway, I think, yeah, is it working or not? What is important is that we're going to have our test one on this Thursday. It was delayed because of the network turbulence of the university. So we apologize for that. Tapi apa, inshallah, we still have time for it, inshallah. So the test number one is going to be on Thursday. Yeah, it was supposed to be on April 24th originally, but inshallah, it's going to be on 25th May. Okay, starting from 5, between 5 and 6. Okay, in the evening, that is after any class that we might have, inshallah. So if there's any issue with the time, so please let me know on time so that we can adjust the time. But tentatively, the evening it's going to be on Thursday, this Thursday. Okay, so on Thursday, we're going to have the test one, inshallah, then between 5 and 6 p.m. All right. Just any question about that? Boleh PM saya atau kita boleh bincang atas Telegram group Telegram kita, inshallah. So lepas tu group presentation and individual submission to sudah buka. So if you finish your assignment on time, you can submit. Bila anytime that you finish, you can submit. Okay, it is open already. So the group is also open, inshallah. So by this, that is just what I wish to have discussion with you about. If there's anything, so you let us discuss it later, inshallah. So أستودعكم ونفسي في رعاية الله الذي لا يضيع ودائعه ونستكفي بهذا حتى نلتقي في مناقشة القادمة إن شاء الله وبالله التوفيق والهداية والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So inshallah, I'm going to start from Adab al-Nawm. Adab al-Nawm, that's going to be on page 125, inshallah. So thank you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Doctor.
Ashukru lillah.
شكرا يا أستاذ.
شكرا.
شكرا لله. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت وحدك لا شريك لك وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبدك ورسولك حقا وصدقا وأجل سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم.
إن ينصركم الله فلا غالب لكم وإن يخذلكم فمن ذا الذي ينصركم من بعده وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون. وما كان لنبي أن يغل ومن يغل يأت بما غل يوم القيامة ثم توفى كل نفس ما كسبت وهم لا يظلمون. أفمن اتبع رضوان الله كمن باء سخط من الله ومأواه جهنم وبئس المصير. هم درجات عند الله والله بصير بما يعملون. لقد من الله على رسولا من أنفسهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال. أولما أصابتكم مصيبة قد أصبتم مثليها قلتم أنى هذا قل هو من عند أنفسكم شيء قدير.